It all began when the British began to travel to the New World. When they arrived, however, they were presented an uncultured land with uncivilized people. They created their own towns and morals. This led to a separation of the people. Hence, Whiggism and Republicanism were formed. The Whigs loved having the king in power, and the Republicans wanted equality in New England.
Our king is absolutely fantastic, wouldn't you agree? Why, yes, of course I would agree. I love our king so much. He absolutely knows how to run our government. I hate our king. He has absolutely no idea how to govern us or make us happy. No, I agree completely. He's terrible.
One of the many taxes the king imposed upon the colonists was the Stamp Act. This act was substantial because it required all legal documents and other forms of paper to be stamped. The British thought the colonists were just being greedy because the British had had these taxes for years.
Why does the king insist on taxing us on paper? It makes no sense. All of our cards have to be stamped and it's so costly.
Many rebel groups began to form during this time. They called themselves the Sons of Liberty. Nearly every town and city had one of these groups, however they were not joined as a unified group. Many of the rich Sons of Liberty owned the land that the poor Sons of Liberty rented and worked on.
Why, it's just absolutely fantastic that not only are we rich, but we're rebelling against our native government and stealing money from the poor. Okay, boys, we need some new ideas. We have no money and no land. We need to rebel.
One common idea about the Boston Massacre is that the British were the attackers. They shot the colonists, unjustly killing 5 men and wounding others. A second idea about the Boston Massacre is that the colonists were the instigators. They started mugging and throwing rocks at the British, which led to the fight.
Ow! Oh, ouch! Ow! Ouch, Charlie!
After the implication of the Tea Act, the colonists decided to dump countless numbers of tea barrels into the Boston harbor. Many historians think it was a poor group of Sons of Liberty, though a rich group could have convinced them this was a good idea.
Down with the tea! Down with the tea! Put it into the harbor! Hurry now, hurry!
The committees of correspondence were basically spies that were sent around the colonies to reinforce non-importation of British goods. They were colonists controlling colonists.
You know, I was thinking, why don't we use British? I mean, it's a good thing we are American.
In 1774, the Intolerable Acts were made. These consisted of the Quartering and Partial Administration of Justice, Massachusetts Bay Regulating, Boston Port, and Quebec Acts.
Hey you, Americans, we're gonna come live in your houses and you need to feed us.
The Continental Congress was a meeting of delegates from 12 of the 13 colonies. They decided to hold a non-importation of British goods and write out the list of rights the king had denied them. So it has been decided we shall hold a non-importation of British goods and write out a list of rights. The battles of Lexington and Concord occurred on the same night. The British attacked Lexington first, but the colonists were terrified and ran to Concord. The colonists joined with other Minutemen and waited for the British, and after hours of anticipation, the British came and were defeated by drunken Minutemen.
Oh no, it's the British! Run, run, run! Come here, you lousy redcoats, I'm gonna kill you!
Common Sense was published by Thomas Paine. It contained a new perspective of the British and created the desire for republicanism among people who had not been educated.
Hello, you less fortunate than I. Come read about republicanism and learn why the British are bad.
In 1876, the Declaration of Independence was drafted and signed. Two theories about why the Declaration was made. The first, poor colonists forced those in Congress to create the Declaration so they would have their right to land. They threatened the British extensively and scared them into drafting the document.
We are absolutely sick of you bullying us around. Make us a declaration or we'll kill you. Okay, here's a declaration for you.
The second, the members of Congress had finally grown tired of King George III and no longer wanted a tyrannous leader.
I am imposing another tax. No, King George, you are not. We are going to rebel. You'll never make it without me. I am your leader. We already have a declaration.
accept my mind. Expect 1,000 confessions that you will not